Hi everyone, I'm Shona and I'm the owner and founder of Cherry Tree Training, and I am the personal trainer who doesn't like the gym. I very much embrace the title of being an imperfect personal trainer, and it fits really well because today I'm here to talk to you about perfectionism, overthinking and fitness. I recently did a poll in my Facebook group that said 72% either sometimes or always struggle with perfectionism. I definitely have been prone to perfectionism in the past, and it takes every single fibre of my being to put things out there when they're not perfect. And it's something that I'm getting into the habit of. So now instead of thinking, is it right? I think, well, let go of it and then we'll see what happens. And that's been a massive, massive mindset shift for me, and something that I know a lot of my clients struggle with and a lot of you will struggle with too. And if you can hear the bell, that is my dog asking to be let out, so I'll be back in 2 seconds. One of the biggest things I see with perfectionism and the way it manifests itself in fitness is that when we lose our streak, we don't get started again because we had that really great 5 days and then we missed a day and now our streak isn't perfect. So the first thing I want you to do to really tackle perfectionism and overthinking is to never stop starting. If you fall off the bandwagon, that's not a problem. Just start again. If you find yourself falling into a bit of a lull where things aren't quite as good, that's okay. Start again tomorrow. And don't feel like you have to start on the first day of the month, on the first day of the week, or on the hour every hour. You can start at 13 minutes past 12 on the third Tuesday of the month. There is nothing to say when you stop. There is nothing to say when you need to start. Just never stop starting. And I'm very deliberately going to leave this in as an imperfect thing because it's not perfect. None of us are. And that's okay. When we're struggling with perfectionism, we can also think it's an all or nothing deal. It's a very on-off switch. It's very binary. We've either done everything or we do nothing. And when life gets in the way, that's not hugely helpful. So the second thing I'd like you to do to help tackle overthinking and perfectionism is to go with the policy of no 0 days. No 0 days means we just do something. It can be, if you've not done the dishes for a while, it can be washing that mug. If you've not done any exercise for a while, it can be running up the stairs instead of taking the lift. If you've not done exercise in a while, it could even be messaging someone and asking about booking onto that class. No 0 days, and that is my dog barking to get let back in. The third thing I want to point out when we're dealing with perfectionism is that perfect does not exist. Whether objectively or subjectively, there's always going to be something that could be a little bit different. Not everybody likes the same type of art, for example. Your favourite photo out of a photo shoot will be different from your friend's favourite photo out of a photo shoot. None of us have the same idea of perfect, and perfect doesn't really exist. So the third thing I want you to do to help handle perfectionism is remember that perfect doesn't exist, and imperfect and done is the best result we can go for. By embracing imperfections, we can do the fourth thing I would recommend to help you tackle perfectionism, and that is learning from the imperfections. I film most of my training. And I'm looking for the successes, I'm looking for the cool bits, I'm looking for the bits that are Instagram ready, but equally, I use those videos to learn from the imperfections. I use those videos to find out the little tweaks and things that I can use to make everything better. So if, for example, I'm training pole and my foot flexed for a second during that transition, that's a really easy thing for me to go back and target next time and just make some little tweaks to improve the whole picture. So we can learn from the imperfections. There is a metaphor that does the rounds in a few different formats. I use vases, other people use paintings. There's a few different versions of it. But in essence, if you imagine you have two groups of people who are both learning how to make vases. This group is told they can only make one vase and it has to be perfect. This group is told they can make as many vases as they want and they don't have to be perfect. They can learn from their mistakes. They get to the end of this, however long it is training course. I usually use a month, but there's so many versions. You could use a year if you really want to go in depth on your vases. At the end of this training course, the group that was able to learn from their mistakes had an overall higher quality of vase, they felt better about the process, and they learned more as a result of their imperfections and mistakes along the way. So think about making a vase. If you could only make one vase, they'd be a nightmare. If you could make as many vases as you need and learn from those mistakes, you're going to have a much better finished product anyway. And the final thing I want you to think about when it comes to perfectionism, overthinking and fitness is to celebrate your achievements without caveats or conditions. I want you to be able to come into a room, and every Friday in my Facebook group is Fabulous Friday. I want you to come and join Fabulous Friday, and I want you to come in and say, I did this and it's awesome. Full stop. Not, I did this and it's awesome, but, or this could have been better, but I liked this. No, just come in and celebrate, because perfection does not exist. The best outcome we can get is still imperfect. And that is what makes life interesting. And if you're still having a hard time embracing imperfections, I want you to think about your favourite person, animal, place. And I want you to think about the imperfections that make them really unique. So right now, my puppy's hair is crazy. And she has this one bit that sticks up across her eye that I've not managed to cut because she's got wise to the scissors. And you know what? That little imperfection melts my heart. So to summarise, tackling perfectionism, overthinking, and getting the most out of your fitness journey, 5 steps. Never stop starting. No 0 days. Imperfect and done is the best result we can aim for. You can learn from your imperfections, and I would love you to celebrate your achievements without caveat. And I'm going to say, this is one of the least perfect videos I've ever done, and I'm very deliberately putting it out there without doing retakes, without doing lots of editing, and I'm just going to put it out there because the message still stands. Imperfect and done is the best result.